I just want to first of all say thank you to the Corporate Research Forum for inviting me to London to work with you for a couple days sharing Appreciative Inquiry. It was just an exciting group to be with Siemens and Novartis and Royal Dutch Shell. I think there were some 110 companies. You asked me just to put in a nutshell two questions. What is Appreciative Inquiry and how does it work? And I'll just try and hit a few highlights from the course that we just had. Appreciative Inquiry, let me just say that my passion right now is about change at the scale of the whole. When I work with leaders in any field, human resources, the strategic level, CEO office, and so on, leaders everywhere are asking, it's change this, change that, and a lot of our change agendas and change projects fail. And there's a lot of cynicism about change. But one of my passions has been to, and it grows out of a question that a lot of senior leaders say, their question today isn't about change per se, change this, change that, but it's about change at the scale of the whole. How do we move this whole 67,000 person telecommunications company together? And then the other kind of bigger thing is that change is changing. So in the course, we get into a lot of the positive psychology of human strengths. I think a revolution is happening in our understanding of human behavior, and we've underestimated the role of the positive in human systems, not just positive thinking. So what is Appreciative Inquiry? I think two or three major ideas. The first is that it is a complete strength-based approach to change. I had a conversation with Peter Drucker shortly before he passed away. He was 93 years old, written more on management thought than anybody in history. And something he said has stuck with me, and I think it's a nice segue to what is Appreciative Inquiry. At the end of the day, again, he was 93. He was so clear and sharp. But I said, Peter, you've listened to a lot of our stories. Can you put it in a nutshell? What's the task of leadership? What's the task of good change leadership? What's the essence of it? And he said, David, it's easy. The task of leadership, and he said, it's ageless in its essence. The task of leadership is to create this alignment of strengths in ways that make a system's weaknesses irrelevant. And I wrote that down. And the reason I wrote it down, the task of leadership is to create this alignment of strengths in ways that make a system's weaknesses irrelevant, is because I think we are searching for a complete change theory that's all about strengths. Could it be that leading change is all about strengths and solutions and opportunities and aspirations? And if so, then where are the tools for the rapid elevation of systemic strengths, human, technical, economic, social? Where are the tools for creating new combination effects of strengths? And so that's the second part of Appreciative Inquiry. As we developed all the tools for the elevation of capacities and strengths and solutions and stories of inspiration, and not just inside the organization, but outside, we call that open inspiration, bringing in the outside. But as we did that, people said, this is so powerful, we should include more people. And so we started experimenting with doing this kind of change work. For example, we have something called the Appreciative Inquiry Summit, where we do the change work and the planning work with the principle of wholeness, all the stakeholders, internal and external. So if it's a trucking company, we'll have dock workers, truck drivers, the CEO, chief financial officer, HR, operations. We'll have customers. We will have supply chain partners. So the second big idea that we got into in this course is around the power of whole systems of strengths. And then the third is that we are taking a page from design thinking, where so often in our change agendas we falter towards the end. The energy goes down. The change isn't sustained. And what we're finding is that if we can get away from just talk and action plans and words, but start moving towards artifacts, rapid prototyping of the initiatives, building through design thinking, that all of a sudden people can see the reality of the future, not just talk about it. I shared lots of stories from Apple and Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, National Grid in the UK and the United States, our work with the United Nations Global Compact, where we brought over 700 CEOs of some of the largest companies in the world to look at business as a force for peace and business as a force for eradicating extreme poverty. Stories like Vitamix, one of the great nutritional excellence companies, or BMW, Schuberg Philips in the Netherlands that uses appreciative inquiry. They've been ranked in a Harvard Business Review article as the #1 quality system IT organization in the Netherlands. Webasto, Germany. So we shared lots of stories. And then ultimately, we pressed on to some of the newest work that we have. It's a new 8-stage positive change model that's all based on strengths and opportunities, aspirations, and it creates a wonderful paradigm to bring teams together. And the positive approaches, I'm finding my sense of hope about what we're capable of just goes up and up and up. If some of you are interested, we have an online course at Case Western Reserve University, The New Change Equation. And you're welcome to share, or maybe colleagues are interested in it. But it's a 7-week digital platform, and it's wonderful. I ended the session by talking about the discovery and design of positive institutions, where this strength-based model says it's not just, it's about the elevation of human and technical and economic innovations and strengths. It's about second circle bringing combination effects of strengths together to bear on some change agenda. But now we want to say, how do we take this strength-based perspective out into society, where business becomes a force for good, a force for community, a force for transitioning to a sustainable, bright green economy? And I talked a lot about this one at the end, about how I think this is the biggest human resources opportunity of the 21st century, and I shared stories of just how alive the young employees are at Tesla. When I meet in the Amsterdam Tesla Display Center, and the young people are on fire. And I asked one of them, what is your job in this display store? And they said, my job is to electrify the renewable energy age. We ended the program on Appreciative Inquiry by talking about how, as we take this strength-based perspective internally and then through networks and combination effects like the AI Summit, and now working outwards like National Grid, for example, in the UK, did a whole major strategic planning summit on the sustainability agenda for the whole UK. Anyway, so that's just a little bit about it. Appreciative inquiry is a strength-based approach that's built on the Drucker philosophy of strengths. It's an approach that says we need to bring out the best in human systems by bringing whole systems of strengths together. And it's an approach that says, it's not just enough to dialogue, but up with design and design thinking as a way to build forward confidence and momentum for change through design thinking tools like rapid prototyping and so on. Again, I want to thank Corporate Research Forum. It was just a joy to be with you and I think about 110 companies. I look forward to learning and sharing and continuing. And again, if people are interested in this digital opportunity, it's called The New Change Equation. Thank you.